Apes by punks. I'm gonna interview a punk holder and see how he feels about that one on today's episode.
Sure.
Talking about you,
who
David.
Who are you gonna interview? Oh, me? All right.
And then they released a coin too, so I don't know what that means. We're gonna talk about the ApeCoin as well. Here's the biggest acquisition in NFT history. I don't know how you feel about that. I'm looking at a punk in your background right now, but Yuga Labs purchased all of the intellectual property, I believe, from the CryptoPunks holders, Larva Labs. Yuga and Larva, they purchased all the intellectual property from Larva Labs. Tell us what this means. So what is this purchase? What's the significance of it? And what does it mean for the NFT ecosystem and for the punks and the Bored Apes community?
Yeah, Carly Riley over at Overpriced JPEGs tweeted out a few months ago, I wonder when NFT companies or NFT studios are going to start buying the IP from other NFT companies or other NFT studios. And I'm pretty sure when she tweeted that, she meant like, some of the B-list NFTs, not necessarily the Bored Ape Yacht Club founders buying CryptoPunks, the OG NFT. So the magnitude of this is absolutely crazy. And not just CryptoPunks, but also Meebits, which also came out of Larva Labs. And so for every NFT project, there is IP associated with it. There's licenses. And the CryptoPunks, again, the one that I have in the back of my living room here, the IP for CryptoPunk was actually not owned by the owners of the CryptoPunks. It was still owned by Larva Labs. So like commercial licenses was not something that you could do with CryptoPunks. That was actually one of the reasons, that's always been the case behind Bored Apes, is that the Bored Ape holders had the rights to use their own Bored Ape commercially if they so choose. This is Creative Commons Open, or CCO, I believe is what that's called.
DC investor take, what is he saying here, David?
I am done building identities and brands which corporations can buy and sell without paying me. And for me to be expected to go along with the ride because my identity is attached to them. From now on, will only feature art by independent artists and create CCO PFPs on this account. So this is in reaction to Yuga Labs buying the CryptoPunks IP from Larva Labs. And DC Investor is saying he only likes NFTs where he is the sole owner of the IP, and because he doesn't want, centralized companies buying the IP of an NFT profile picture that he rocks. So I will point out that DC Investor now has an MFer as his profile picture because Satoshi and the MFers are CCO, and they give complete ownership rights of the IP towards the owners of the NFT. So that's pretty cool.
So is DC an example of somebody who's maybe not so happy,
Yes.
a punk holder is not so happy about this Yuga Labs initiative?
Yes. He is cautiously pessimistic, I will say, where I'm cautiously optimistic.
Are there some people in the CryptoPunk community who are just like ballistic angry, I'm selling all my punks kind of thing?
I saw one tweet about that, but no, I haven't seen more than that.
Interesting. I'm really, enjoying seeing that play out. It's just interesting to see that play out. He says more on the CCO thing. Should we read that too?
Yeah, clarifying my thoughts on CCO. CCO doesn't mean it's a better NFT. There's lots of garbage CCO NFTs. It's also possible some corporate administered NFTs outperforms for many reasons. I simply prefer to participate in communities where they can't sell my participation to others. So, some takes.
DC.
And so now Yuga Labs, which are the founders behind Bored Apes and Mutant Apes and that whole ecosystem, struck a deal with Larva Labs to acquire the IP. And when they did, they gave the punk holders the rights to their own commercial licenses for their punks. So I can start going out and making merch and branding out of my CryptoPunk if I so choose. I already have a brand around me and my CryptoPunk because I put my CryptoPunk as my profile picture on Twitter. But now I could go and start making a movie where my CryptoPunk is featured if I so choose, and I would have my own commercial rights to that.
Why didn't Larva Labs do that?
Larva Labs,
why have they been holding it?
That's a good question. Larva Labs has always been builders and not necessarily marketers. They like on-chain experiments. They like fooling around on the blockchain, doing cool, innovative new things. Like I said, they weren't just the founders of CryptoPunks. They also did Meebits. They also did autoglyphs. They are tinkerers and innovators at the chain level, where Yuga Labs are brand experts and just like experts in growing the value of an ecosystem, and that's just something that Larva Labs was never really interested in. So some punk holders are a little bit concerned because the climate and culture in Bored Apes is nothing like the culture around CryptoPunks. The CryptoPunks kind of think the Bored Apes are kind of cringe, and I'm definitely one of those people. So like people are worried that Yuga Labs is going to give CryptoPunks the same treatment that they gave the Bored Apes, like yachts and things of that nature that are kind of against the CryptoPunk ethos. Like it's really actually hard to tie down CryptoPunks. They're very, very decentralized.
Different cultures.
Different cultures, yeah. And so some of the punk holders are concerned about that, as in we don't need this company to promote the brand of the CryptoPunks. The CryptoPunks brand has always been about promoting itself. Like we don't need help. We're CryptoPunks, and we don't even want help. But
can I ask you this? This part doesn't make sense to me. It's like it feels. Look, I'm kind of an outsider, not part of either of these communities. So I'm just looking at it, but it feels a little bit like Larva Labs is just doing this as a cash grab. Like, why couldn't they have just given CryptoPunk owners Creative Commons license and like be done with it? Why did they have to sell to Yuga Labs all of this IP and all of these punks? Like, I'm wondering if some members of the CryptoPunk community feel a little bit, I don't know if betrayed is the right word, but maybe rug pulled.
It wasn't the acquisition of the IP that I think was. That's only one part of the story. I think actually the bigger part of the acquisition is actually buying the treasury assets of Larva Labs, which was 423 CryptoPunks, and with a 60 ETH floor, that's a lot of value, and over 1,700 Meebits. And so it was a package deal, right? Like we'll buy your CryptoPunks, we'll buy your Meebits, and give us the IP, and we'll make a deal. I don't know how much I think the Larva Labs just wants to kind of sunset their responsibility over the CryptoPunks because they weren't really using that to do anything to begin with. And so I don't know. I don't think rug pulled is the right descriptor. I think it was just like a passing of the baton, a passing of the torch onto a new steward of the brand. And that's kind of where the CryptoPunk side of the community kind of is like fearful. Like they don't want a steward of the brand. The brand is its own steward. It does itself as a headless brand. And so putting a head on the brand is kind of anti-CryptoPunk culture. I'm optimistic. In the mirror post from Yuga Labs, they definitely addressed how they have no intention of just giving the CryptoPunks the Bored Apes treatment, and that they will listen to the community before they take any action. So I'm optimistic about the outcome of this. I kind of think that the CryptoPunks get the best of both worlds. They both get to have their headless brand that many CryptoPunks will just give the middle finger to Yuga Labs, and Yuga Labs will still have the incentive to promote the CryptoPunk brand, so long as they don't do it in any cringe way, like how they kind of did with Bored Apes, in my opinion. Then I think we're good here.
Respect the culture, but as a punk holder, you feel you're cautiously optimistic about it.
Cautiously optimistic. I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
There's some takeaways from William Peaster. He goes over now. Yuga Labs now has 5 of the top 20 NFT projects.
Crazy.
So they are an absolutely massive player and brand holder in the NFT space. Larva Labs is going to continue on with Web3 projects. He said they're kind of a builder hacker house, and looks like they're going to spin up more Web3 projects in the future. It does beg the question of whether Yuga, what they do next. Will they launch an NFT marketplace, for instance, right? Then they have the brands. Do they go start being vertically integrated and become sort of an OpenSea type of offering, get into the exchange business? There's also some chatter about acquisitions, right? So like if Yuga Labs, Bored Apes can basically buy CryptoPunks, then that also means somebody can buy Bored Apes, right? Buy all of that IP. So who's next? Do the corporate behemoths enter the fray? Does like Disney go and buy an NFT project? Maybe they are the future owners of Yuga Labs. They own all the other brands.
I don't think the Bored Apes is the right culture for Disney.
But maybe it's someone else, right? It's like the idea of these things being acquired and purchased has sort of entered the conversation as well. When token, that's what we'll get to in a second.
Yeah,
it feels like there's a token conversation, play to earn games, some other things as well. But let's talk about the token really quick. So there's an ape token. Get me up to speed on that, David. I haven't honestly been paying attention too much to the ApeCoin. What's going on there?
Yeah, so Yuga Labs minted and airdropped ApeCoin, I believe, as of this morning. And ApeCoin is, according to them, a token for culture, gaming, and commerce used to empower a decentralized community building at the forefront of Web3. Some people have the negative take on this is like a token for culture, gaming, and commerce. Like these things that are supposed to be unlocked by having the token. Wasn't that what like the apes themselves were supposed to be? But you know, to each their own. This is putting a currency into an NFT world. So now we have the fungible money currency that's paired with the holders of the ape tokens that got all the money. So what they're going to be doing with the ERC20 token, I don't know, but you would imagine some sort of just like economy is growing. This is now like the nation of the apes, the world, the planet of the apes, if you will. They have their own identity and their own currency, and now they have to build out their world.
And this is just for ape holders. This isn't across all Yuga Labs properties, just for the apes themselves.
Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, and Kennel Doggy Dog Club. I don't know the name of that one. The dogs that go with the apes. So those three projects got the ApeCoin airdrop in different proportions.
Got it.
Even more critiques came from the supply of the ape token that was given to Yuga Lab founders, because some amount was reserved for Yuga Lab founders, which is typical, but then some amount was also reserved for Bored Ape founders, which they're the same thing. So like a little bit of a double dip right there. But we'll see. We'll see. It's still in early days.
There's some takes. Here's one from Alexis Ohanian, who's coming on the podcast on Monday, by the way. What's his take? Despite how bored my ape looks, I'm excited to share that ApeCoin DAO is adopting ApeCoin, and that I'm serving on special counsel that will oversee the decisions of the community. So Alexis looks like is getting in the fray as a governor of some sorts. The exchanges are listing ApeCoin as well. They've been very quick to list. FTX, I got an email from Gemini saying we are now listing ApeCoin.
So good BD from Yuga Labs.
Business. Yeah, they can execute. These brands can execute. And what is this tweet that we're looking at here, David?
Yeah, so this was interesting. This has less to do with the actual like airdrop out of Yuga Labs and more with NFTX. And NFTX is like an index for various NFT projects. And so NFTX has a bunch of Bored Apes in their vaults, and all of the Bored Apes that NFTX has is they're able to claim the tokens. They're able to claim the airdropped, but no one actually owns them because it's owned by a pool. So what someone did is they took a flash loan to buy the entire vault of all Bored Apes, and then since they owned every single Bored Ape, they claimed every single Bored Apes from NFTX airdrop, and then resupplied and sold back to the NFT vault all of the apes, and then paid back their flash loan and was able to claim basically $1 million of the ape token. So
I don't even know if I'm mad about that one.
No,
am I mad about that one?
This is clever.
Yeah,
like if NFTX didn't think about that, then that's on them.
Yeah, that's pretty clever, and some of the downstream effects of these things. So summarize this for us. Overall, what do you think about the acquisition of punks by the apes and Yuga Labs moving forward?
Acquisition of punks by apes, I am neutral to slightly positive on that. There's a decent chance that it just becomes a nothing burger and CryptoPunks or CryptoPunks forever, and nothing can really change that. So that's my opinion on that. With regards to the airdrop of the issuance of new tokens to generate excitement and to make money, goes back to my thesis of how we are in a 2018 part of the crypto cycle where people are just issuing tokens because it's the last gasp of opportunity to pocket some money before we go into the bear market. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, head over to Bankless HQ right now to develop your crypto investing skills and learn how to free yourself from banks and gain your financial independence. We recommend joining our daily newsletter, podcast, and community as a Bankless Premium subscriber to get the most out of your Bankless experience. You'll get access to our market analysis, our alpha leaks, and exclusive content, and even the Bankless token for airdrops, raffles, and unlocks. If you're interested in crypto, the Bankless community is where you want to be. Click the link in the description to become a Bankless Premium subscriber today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for in-depth interviews with industry leaders, Ask Me Anythings, and weekly roll-ups where we summarize the week in crypto and other fantastic content. Thanks everyone for watching and being on the journey as we build out the Bankless Nation.